This chiropractic business was able to increase their number of ideal dream clients coming through their doors by 300% last year. And this plumber is now fully booked due to a strong marketing strategy and content plan. Hey friends, it's Quinn with Run, and today we're talking about something a little spicy. Why your content marketing strategy sucks, and more importantly, how to fix it. So I have a question. How are you getting your best clients? And maybe even a better question is, are you getting consistent inbound demand? Okay, you guys, I've been watching and studying a lot of different content strategies over the years, and I've stumbled across several different yet quality strategies that over time have helped me frame the content strategy that now I use for my business, as well as what we use to help our partners grow their businesses. Cracking the code by taking anywhere between 4 and 10 different content types, each designed to work together and then be reformatted and repurposed across your marketing channels, right? To ultimately make more effective use of your marketing dollars and your time, all with the intent to effortlessly pack your calendar with the types of people that you love working with and who are in turn already pre-sold on you, right? All right, so these content types are to be used smarter by connecting through the different marketing channels like your website, social media, YouTube, email, podcasts, and more. So let's go through these potential content types. I'm going to provide examples, and I'm going to show you how this fits across your multi-channel strategy. All right, you guys, most businesses have what we call a shotgun content approach. A blog here, a TikTok there, maybe an email blast once every blue moon, but ultimately there's no core strategy, no purpose behind the content, right? And the result is ultimately wasted time, zero engagement, and definitely no leads. But remember, you guys, growing a business is like investing in the stock market. If you're looking for real, long-term, sustainable growth and success, you've got to push through the hard and get better along the way, all with the intent to consistently keep contributing for the time to get that compounding factor. The reality is that content without a strategy is really just noise and headache, right? Ultimately causing you more to-dos and nothing getting done. And the biggest mistake that we see, no pillar content, no repurposing plan, and zero thought for SEO or long-term. Now, you can pick and choose content types from all around the internet. There's certainly long form, there's short form, there's educational, there's behind the scenes. We'll talk about some of these. You can always look at what others are doing in your industry as a good indicator of what is working. But I would absolutely recommend coming up with a strategy that offers sufficient dynamic, right? Not the same thing all the time, but also, on the other hand, not too complex, or else you'll never do it. So I recently watched some videos on a strategy that I've just become familiar with called the Content Fortress, based on a book by Martin Huntbatch and Lindsay Cambridge. They clearly outline 8 specific content types that basically all the other content facets that you're doing are encompassed in. It's a holistic list that you should absolutely consider. So let's go through these 8 content types. We might even consider some other things that you can do inside that paradigm and show you how to leverage them in your marketing. And you guys, if you stick around to the end, I'm going to let you in on a very specific system that we put in place for our own strategies and the strategies that we implement for our partners that will absolutely help you create content better and faster than you think. You guys, I remember as I was just starting out a business as a freelance marketer, and I'm sure you can think back as you were just starting out your business, that you were really good at something and knowing what you do well and who you really like to work with and what it takes to make a great relationship and to get great work done. On the other hand, I also knew that there were clients that I just genuinely would never want to work with again. Ultimately, they took up all of my time, my resources. They would cost me more production dollars and made my life so much harder, right? Less rewarding, not worth the money that I was earning, not to mention that it was breaking my profit margins and my processes. You guys might have had this as well. Maybe these clients are A, looking for more work for less money than what you offer. B, they're just simply unkind and unprofessional. Or C, maybe they change the scope of work over and over on you. As it would turn out, preventing these bad fit clients is one of the smartest decisions that you can make for your business early on, which is the entire reason a strong content strategy is so important. And you guys, you can follow along with these content types at contentfortress.com/bonus-content. I am not affiliated. I will include the link in the description. I just appreciated their categories. Now, the first content type that they talk about is repelling content. Now, why would I want to put out content repelling people, you might ask? Not every potential partner or client out there is going to be the right one for your business. The big question is, how do you do this that is both clear, but then ultimately not repelling those that would be a good fit by portraying yourself in bad light or poor taste? Maybe start with the question, what do bad clients that do break your process and your product look like? And maybe even more specifically, what do potential clients say that indicate to you right now that they're going down a similar path as bad clients before them? Right? Demands, no time for your processes. They need special attention or catering, and so on. Your content needs to communicate that you don't do business with these people without coming right out and saying it explicitly, right? We will often put right in an ad or in social content or on sites for our B2B clients, this service is not suitable if your business is making X amount of money a month. Knowing that businesses that make that X amount a month often create situations that are difficult to work with, this helps weed them out earlier and set the expectations clearer. Your sales cycle should already definitely include some of this language and content. You just want to surface that earlier to set those expectations earlier. You might even have a section right on your site that shows what you expect from your clients and what they expect from you. Once potential clients see these criteria, they're going to self-filter, clearing up your schedule for the right types of clients. Well, then, of course, you're going to want to pair that content type with number 2, attracting content. So this content type is all about pulling in those right types of clients with content that ultimately would be attractive to them, right? Demand generation is powerful and will ultimately start bringing in clients that make your job feel successful and satisfying and much more like a passion project than the monotony, right? This is all about showing your strengths, showing what makes you unique. What problems do you solve really well? To do this, you guys, you need to know well who those people are and where you can find them. So you might consider what specific problems your perfect people are having and how do you very specifically solve them. So take, for example, a partner of ours who does health seminars. Powerful, attracting content for her would show that she is very clear on the issues of fad diets and magic pills and new mattresses and new pillows, all resulting in burnout and no real change in overall health. Of course, then she could share examples of who beat that monotony of never getting healthy, of never being able to play with their children or grandchildren or retire that they want to. But now, because of her solution, they can. Case studies, success stories, reviews, all with the intent to help with social proof. We as humans need that social proof. Okay, so you've got some attention, you've attracted the right people, now you need to convert. You need content number 3, sales content. This is the bridge from awareness to action, right? So how to make the transition. As long as people are taking money online, your most powerful digital asset, your website, needs to have clear content early and often, with CTA or calls to actions all over, and contingent on the stage of funnel that the content is. That CTA should be relevant to the next action, right? You want it in the hero of your homepage, throughout those content pages. And of course, your primary action should be in your navigation, in the header at the top of your site, and sticky so that it follows your client's online experience throughout the site. Sales content comes in the form of what we call bottom of funnel, right? Site content like service pages where somebody is ready to buy. You can precede that content by producing other SEO or long form content that might be higher in the funnel, like, why do I need digital marketing? Now, this is the kicker. Anytime you create long form content, you should be repurposing that into social media and short form content, which leads to number 4, pricing content. Now, being unclear or secretive or vague on your plans, packaging, or pricing can be a big deterrent for potential customers, causing them to then run to your competitors. Of course, many sales teams will further qualify leads, especially for higher ticketed prices, but even they have to be super careful with being vague or not transparent. Certainly, it is not just slapping a price on a website. It's about telling the narrative or the story and giving context to the amount so that it's justifiable. You have to show value. We often call these points on a website specifically value propositions, right? You have to show why behind the price tag. What does pricing or packaging content look like, you guys? It can be a single page with your packages and pricing on it. It can be pages specifically about questions revolving around pricing, like, is marketing worth the spend? Or is it an investment? Next, we have content type number 5, guiding content. You have to be the hero that Gotham needs, not the hero that it deserves, right? We often refer to this internally as middle of funnel content. These are often for problem-aware people who now need more clarity and more direction and more guidance on a path to choose. So we often see this as comparative content, like package comparisons or competitor comparisons, which can be tricky if you are a brand and you cannot mention other brands, as opposed to maybe a consumer site or non-brand associated comparison. Ultimately, you have to do long-form content, YouTube content, copy content, and put it on a page on your site. For example, maybe how to choose the right storage facility. You want to lay out all the options, the pros, the cons, and try to be as transparent and clear, allowing the prospect to then fully understand what it is you do and choose if you are the right fit. So they know that they want you and that they need you, but aren't sure then how to proceed the best way, which can cause analysis paralysis, which brings us to content type number 6, process content. All focused on the next steps. You can include this right on your offer or your pricing page or your landing page from a paid offer, or right in the social content itself. For example, the process from saying, let's go with a garage loft and epoxy floor company, right? Then it's the measuring and the time that they'll need out of the garage and what they'll move and what they won't move and the time for it to be built and fulfilled on, and then the drying, and then ultimately the final step, which is enjoying and the life that they live. All right, which brings us to number 7, which is opinion content. You guys, this is diving into the nitty-gritty and not sitting on the sidelines or toe dipping. In Robert Glover's No More Mr. Nice Guy, he says, imperfect humans can only connect with other imperfect humans. This is that idea that if you are always showing perfection and you're people-pleasing in your content, it can be difficult for people to connect to, just like a boring airplane safety demonstration. Even if it's the most important information in the world, if it lacks personality and connection, nobody's going to hear it. You guys, you can't make everyone happy, and you can't do everything for everyone. If everyone's super, then no one is, right? And finally, number 8, according to Content Fortress, is culture content. Very similar to opinion content, culture content celebrates you, your traditions, your story, how you got where you are. It shows that you're real and helps people like you gravitate towards you. It also helps those that may be different from you learn more about you, all with the intent to increase familiarity and trust, which both are ultimately only going to increase you to go to market with your content. Okay, you guys, and as promised, I want to walk you briefly through some content styles that fit into these overall types that often provide business owners with additional direction to then overlay this strategy of these types that we just walked through. We mentioned some of them at the beginning, but you might consider the following: educational or how-to content, right? That's more of that top of funnel. Client testimonials, so social proof and case studies. FAQs or QA content, behind the scenes, industry hot takes, thought leadership, product or service demos, myth busting or you're doing it all wrong content, tips and tricks or quick wins, of course, story time or narrative style content, and the big kicker is how you organize and use all of this content across your channels. So how is Run doing this for ourselves? How do we do this for our clients? Always start with long form content, whether that's a long form video or a long form copy that you put on a website. Take that long form content and put it on the most valuable asset that you have digitally, which is your website, and consider how people are going to get to it, right? Questions that they're asking or keywords that they're putting into Google. Now, this becomes your central asset. Why? Because you can now do all that we talked about. All the long-form content is going to likely fit into one of those 8 types of content. And it's going to also fit one of the several styles that we mentioned. You can then take that video or that long-form copy. Once it's on your website in an evergreen, comprehensive manner, you can optimize it for SEO. This gives Google something to crawl, it's going to boost time on your page, and it will ultimately help you rank for something that's only going to ever grow organically over time. Then you can take that content and you can chop it up into little pieces for social media, turning that same video, that same post or page. And then next you can take the same content and send it into an email list, which is going to keep your current audience engaged with helpful personal content that builds trust and re-engages them if they've fallen off the path. 1 video, 3 channels, tons of mileage. Way better than a random Canva post that disappears in 24 hours, right? You guys, you can build off of this structure. Now you can send users from email and social media back to that important digital asset where they can convert, right? Then depending on your industry, you can look into retargeting or bringing people back for cheaper on the Google Display Network or otherwise. You can use other social platforms. You can even start looking at different conversion locations based off of your industry. If you're e-commerce, you could consider Amazon or Target or more. Ultimately, you guys, the world is your oyster. Go grab it by the horns or some other widely used cliche. Okay, you guys, let's summarize it up with a TLDR. Consider your content types. You can even have ChatGPT come up with some ideas for you inside those types. And then make sure you're hitting each of the types from Content Fortress. Build intentional long-form content. And of course, you want to build an evergreen, comprehensive place on your biggest asset, your website, with that long-form copy or video, and then optimize it for SEO. Then repurpose that for social media and link back to the place where people can see and convert. Increase your awareness and re-engage with your email list and sending them back to the same types of content, and rinse and repeat. You guys, this is what we do for our partners at Run, and it's what we do for ourselves, and it works. Consistency, strategy, repurposing. That's the game. If your content marketing strategy has not been working, you guys, it's probably because you're focusing on quantity and not quality. Or very likely, you have been posting without a plan, but now you got a good blueprint. If you guys want help building your strategy like this for your business, you can always reach out to us. And if you found this content helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. This is Quinn with Run. Grow fast, scale smart.